to talk with Mark Cuban, to get to listen to, dude, is she like in the kitchen? Yes, she was literally in the kitchen.
Hi, everybody. I'm Patrick's mom. I'm Maria Shriver.
Nice.
Yeah.
Everyone was wondering why there was such an echo, and I said you were
sorry.
trying to be on Instagram Live with me from about 10 feet away, and I was trying to explain to you that's not how it works.
Okay, so I learn something new every day. I'm excited to still be learning at my age. That keeps my brain healthy. I'm going to learn from Mark Cuban. I just learned that what I did was wrong on Instagram Live. So I'm a student. I'm here to learn, and I'm here to learn from Mark Cuban. I'm here to learn from you.
Oh, great! I can't wait to learn from Mark Cuban.
I know
I'm a
you
massive,
are like,
massive fan of Mark Cuban.
It says, hey,
I'm here. See, you are getting good at.
And we cannot keep him waiting.
No, we can't.
No, he's like really busy, really important.
Way busier than us. Oh, it says unable to join.
Uh-oh.
Unable to join. Oh, there it is. Now he's able to join.
Phew. God, I almost had a heart attack. Mark Cuban was unable to join. What would we do?
I don't know. We would have to talk about each other first.
Hey, what up?
How you doing?
Good, man. Just chilling. Just chilling.
Don't worry about the hair. It's everyone's going.
What's
through
up, Maria?
How you doing? Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. Look, I look like Eddie Munster. Hold on. No, you guys don't even. Patrick, do you even know who Eddie Munster is?
No, he doesn't. Yeah, it's the Munsters of a show before you were born, but that dates him, and we're in the same decade.
Okay,
exactly.
Just a little before or a little after.
No, you're way after us.
That's all right.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come on here and talk with us. You know, we've been trying to do these Instagram Lives every day to talk with individuals that are utilizing their platform to find ways to give back and to help people during this time. It's a really tough time out there in terms of, you know, the economy, society, so many different places. And you're someone that I've looked up to for my whole life from the business.
So you're making me feel old again. Dang.
Wow. Can you believe that? I've never seen him more excited to talk to anybody as he has
whatever.
Whatever.
No, I have a very clear memory of first time I met you with my dad at a Laker game like 15 years ago, long ago. But yeah, anyways, it's great what you've been doing just in general and in life, but also in the last month since, you know, COVID and Corona has really started, and you've been kind of outspoken and you know, you were the first person to really come out and speak about your guys' employees from the Maverick standpoint. And, you know, recently you've joined the President's Council. Yes. And so we wanted to talk about that, start us off there about what you're really doing on that.
So they asked me to be on. They called me one day, like, we're doing this council, and I'm like, sure. So then they put me on the sports council, and I'm like, you got all these commissioners. You don't need me on the sports council. But they kept me on there, and we had a call, and it was kind of ceremonial. Everybody said, you know, we want to get this behind us. But to their credit, right after the call, they had somebody that they assigned to me who listens to all my suggestions and you know, things about getting the economy back open. And so they haven't really acted on any of them yet, but at least they're listening and giving me feedback. And so that's a good thing. But
Mark,
you know,
what have your suggestions been to the president?
I'll tell you the one I gave today. So I had a conversation with them today. And the big thing is, how do you open up? And I'm like, look, you just can't open up retail stores because there's so many things that can go wrong. But you know, the way I would have presented it is not to open up, because that's the word that suggests that everything is getting back to normal, and it's not, and it shouldn't be, right? But what's worked for us is pickup and delivery, right? Which, you know, we're all ordering home. We're all trying to support local restaurants. We want to help them, you know, and so we'll order something online or call it in, and then we'll go pick up our food, or they'll deliver it hands-free, right? So I'm like, look, why don't you make that available to any company? If you're a hardware store and somebody wants to order something online, you need 3 hammers and some nails, right, to fix something at your house, order it, go pick it up, right? Or they can come deliver it and drop it off, you know, on your front porch or down, you know, at the door, whatever it may be. And so let any company who can do business that way, let them do it, because then you're not increasing the risk by opening up retail stores. And the guy I talked to liked the idea, but we'll see where it goes from there.
You said that you thought the state, you know, opening up for business was a perception issue, that you thought that they were using the wrong language. You've also talked a lot about saying we need a vision for an America 2.0. What is that in your mind?
You know, there's got to be some leadership. And right now, I don't think that's happening. And I think we're going through this reset. And really, I think it's going to be driven a lot by encouraging entrepreneurship. You know, like Patrick, your generation, what do you want to see? Because things that we've done in the past aren't going to be the same way we do them in the future. So by having, you know, really anybody of any age coming up with new ideas, new businesses that set us forward, I think we really need to be focused on America 2.0 rather than recreating America 1.0.
Yeah, I think you might be just
frozen.
Are you frozen on our side too?
Yeah, it's frozen on the other side too. Hold on. How can I reconnect here?
I can X you out and reconnect you.
Okay, let's do that.
Hear him, but he's frozen.
Right, I'll try it again. I'll take you off and reconnect you. One second.
Okay. Right when we're talking about America 2.0, which I actually really like.
We'll try Mark 2.0 right now.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, you like that?
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
I'm working on my
Segues.
hosting skill. Yeah, my segue skills.
Yeah, that's very good. It's very hard.
Yeah, people are saying Mark was blurry, so I'm sure Mark has the best internet. So we'll see.
You think so?
I think so.
I hope he has really good internet.
It's saying that it's
that he's frozen.
Yeah, let's see.
Anyway, what I think it's been good is that I liked that he said that they had a person assigned directly to him to listen to his ideas. It was kind of, I think, interesting that they haven't taken any of his ideas yet, but that he at least feels like he has somebody that will listen to him and can convey his ideas. That will work. What he was talking about will work for a lot of stores. Some stores, obviously, you know, hairdressing places, that sort of thing, that won't work for them. But
we might have to try to restart this because now it's frozen for not letting me get Mark in.
Uh-oh. Mark.
We'll try that all over again. 2.0, America 2.0, Instagram Live 2.0, Mark Cuban 2.0.
Eddie Munster is back.
Eddie Munster is back.
Well, I'm glad that that this is working. But you were just saying how it's a lot of it has to do with kind of our generation of really thinking about, you know, how do we want to see this economy come back? What do we want to see as that America 2.0? Correct. You are a massive entrepreneur. I mean, you're an investor in over 150 different small businesses. What advice are you giving to young entrepreneurs or to some of the businesses that you're involved in right now? Now's
the best time ever to start a business. As horrific as it is and as challenging as it is, you know, the bigger companies right now don't know what to do. Medium-sized companies don't know what to do. And we really don't know what business is going to be like when we start to come out on the other side of this and we're truly able to open up. And what that means is, you know, the best ideas are going to take hold. New ideas are going to take hold. If you look at what happened when the tech industry crashed and the whole tech bubble burst, that's when you saw, you know, great new companies like Google get created. Not long after was Facebook. And so, you know, out of the wreckage came, there are going to come a lot of world-class companies, and they're going to come from younger people who just have a vision. And, you know, like people like you, Patrick, who say, you know what, this is the way I want it to be. And a lot of people get excited about it, and then boom, it takes off. And I think there's no better time.
But what about, Mark, what about people my age, your age, who've got kids, who've got debt, who've got, you know, kids in college, they have businesses, and they've been working at it for 20, 30 years. What do they do?
It's hard. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, right? It's going to be hard. You're going to have to be agile. You know, as an entrepreneur and someone who's run business, look at the Dallas Mavericks, right? We're closed.
Yeah.
We're closed, right? We can't do anything, and it's very expensive for, you know, in all professional sports, college sports, you know. And so we're going to have to really pay attention to the science. We're going to really, when we start to come back, we're going to have to make sure we take care of not just the players and employees, but start to recognize how to do it with customers. How are we going to enforce social distancing? How are we going to reduce the touch points? We're doing things like, okay, can we create covers for seats, you know, within the arena that we can just give to people to take with them and wash and bring back so that you have your own cover so you feel more confident. So what are the different ways we can build confidence for when people come back? So that's where, you know, existing businesses that have been around for a while, it's going to be harder. There's no doubt about it. But you're going to have to be agile. And if you're not, you know, you're just going to open up the door for somebody else.
Yeah, 100%. And speaking of kind of these smaller businesses or medium-sized businesses that have already been running for the last bit, you know, we've heard so much about the small business loans, the SBA loans, and all of the money that the government is kind of shelling out. What do you think of all this? Is there enough money? Is there not? I mean, I know that they just did more yesterday.
Yeah, they did more.
That's all spoken for.
It was too late. I mean, it's not that it was too late. It was too slow, right? If right when it got passed, if it would have got funded immediately, it would have allowed a lot of small to medium-sized businesses to retain more of their employees.
Right.
But the way it was structured, it didn't get there fast enough. There wasn't any business coming in because companies were shut down. So a lot of people got fired or laid off or furloughed. And now with the money, it requires them to bring people back. It requires small businesses to bring their employees back in order to turn it into a grant as opposed to a loan, which is good. But the problem is it's designed for 8 weeks. And we're probably not going to be all open in 8 weeks. And even if we are, business won't be back to normal. It's not like everybody's all of a sudden going to be shopping. And Patrick, your mom's probably not even going to let you out of the house to go shopping or go wherever, you know? And so it's going to be, commerce is going to be really negatively impacted. And so the point being that 8 weeks of support, financial support, probably isn't enough. And so we're going to have to see where we are in 8 weeks and probably have to do it again, probably need more stimulus payments because there's just not enough consumer demand being generated. Because even with the people, you know, when you get the $1,200 check or up to $3,400 per family, where are you going to spend it other than Amazon and food and grocery stores, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
You talk, Mark, about this being a reset moment, and I was reading that you're talking about conscious capitalism, that we all need to take a step back and think about who are we paying? How are we paying them? And as we go forward, we need to reset every aspect of how we employ, who we employ, what we pay, what we don't pay.
Yeah, it's really changed. You know, historically, the capitalist in me and the libertarian in me would just said, you know what, just let entrepreneurs be entrepreneurs. You know, that's the American way. If there's enough money in the system, people like me, like you, like your mom, like your dad are going to start businesses, right? And that'll create employment. But we're in a different scenario right now. We just lost 26 million jobs in less than a month.
Yeah.
In less than a month. And then you add the underemployed and the future people who are going to lose their jobs when the stimulus money runs out. It's going to be bad. And so we can't do the trickle down approach anymore. It's got to be a trickle up approach. We've got to get money into consumers' hands. And we're going to have to raise wages. We're going to have to be more creative. Small businesses, like some of mine, are going to have to be more creative. I'm encouraging them to give more equity to their employees. Right. You know, we're going to have to give them, minimum wage raises to at least $15. They've got to be able to spend within their communities. And that's going to be a little bit more expensive for small businesses, but hopefully across the board in their communities, there'll be more money being spent to help them. And then finally, we're going to have to make jobs. The federal government is going to have to create jobs, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing. And where I've suggested to them, we talked about the council, where I've made suggestions is, first and foremost, we're going to need to hire a lot of testers and tracers. God help us if we have a resurgence and we don't have millions of people across the country, or whatever that number is, trained as healthcare professionals, understanding the requirements of HIPAA for privacy and doing tracking and tracing. Because if it hits us again, we've got to be there ready for it. And then, you can look for other places where the government can create jobs. For instance, long-term care for the elderly. Yeah. That the fastest growing demographic is people even older than us, Patrick. And so, they need places to stay. There's not enough long-term care facilities. There's not enough long-term care workers. And so training long-term care workers now in anticipation, I think, if we can create 3, 4, 5, it's not going to change everything, but it's certainly going to help.
So I've heard the term, and I'm sure so many people here have heard trickle down effect, and you're talking about the trickle up effect. Right. Yet I've seen and I've read so much about these small business loans, and it seems to be that when you're talking about the trickle up, all these really small businesses, those mom and pop stores that have 1 or 2 employees or 1 or 2 shops total, they don't have the ability to get their books ready and submit everything and get these loans in that first order basis that some of these bigger companies do. And you're seeing, I think it was today they announced 100 and something public companies got $600 million of the loan. So
that's crazy.
How do we ensure, and it'd be so great to hear from you since you're on that council, what can we tell the politicians, this is the way that we can do that.
So they actually changed it. They changed it last minute yesterday so that public companies cannot get access to the funds. So your voice was heard, Patrick. You're exactly right. So yeah, because it was crazy, right? And the reason why you don't allow public companies, even though a lot of them are getting hurt badly, is because they have other ways to raise money. They can sell more stock. They can get loans against the stock. They can sell options. They can sell warrants. There's so many different ways that they can use being public to raise capital. You know, and then there's other things. You know, if you have a lot of assets, like some of the companies that I don't have control over, but I'm a significant investor, we got crushed. We're in the entertainment industry, and we got crushed. And you know, some of the other partners wanted us to apply, and it was just like, no, we can't, right? Because we have enough assets to support our companies, and there's other people further down the food chain, if you will, that just don't. And let me just tell you, and it's not just the small mom and pop businesses, independent contractors. If you do video, if you work as a bartender at weddings, you know, you're a wedding singer, whatever it may be, they made it harder for independent contractors to apply for the funds. So it's going to be really interesting to see if this latest bunch of money that just came in today, if more of that goes to independent contractors, because they're not eligible for unemployment, and they're not eligible, or it's difficult for them to get the PPP money. So they're caught in no man's land, and that's horrible.
When do you, Mark, do you anticipate, or is it too early to say, when you can envision sports coming back?
With no fans, I mean, I don't want to put a date on it, but whenever it's safe. You know, I think we have a moral obligation to play whenever we can, just made for television, right? It was like the NFL draft was on last night, and it was awful, but it was still the NFL draft, and we wanted to watch, right?
Yeah.
You know, no one wants to stare at Roger Goodell that long, right? No one wants to see people in their houses that much. But when we're starting to get games, when we think it's safe, that's when we'll go back and start playing with no crowds. Who knows when that'll happen? But like I was saying, we have a moral obligation because we need something to cheer for. We need something to get excited about. You know, we need to talk about the Mavs kicking the Lakers' ass. We need to have, you know.
I might end this again.
Mark, I'm curious about, you have 3 kids, and I've read about you that your parents, neither of them went to college, but really stressed to you and your siblings hard work and education, and that you've also said you don't want your kids to go around thinking they're going to be successful because they're Mark Cuban's kids.
Right. That's exactly
what are you telling them about this moment, about building resilience, about work ethic?
That's a great question.
How is this moment going to shape them?
Yeah, I mean, first, you know, we try to give them context. I'm Jewish, and you know, my grandparents came from Russia because they had to. It was either leave or die, you know. And when you put that in context, we have it easy, right? I mean, you look around here, it's really, really easy. But still, you know, I try to convey to my wife, also tries to convey that, you know, now you're doing chores. Now you're realizing, you know, here's a little bit of the real world. You know, we're having toilet cleaning days, you know, where everybody's doing things. And that seems so silly and so simple, you know, relative to everybody else. But just really conveying to them, you're going to have to work for everything. And if the world doesn't recover the way we hope it does, you may have to work even harder than I did, or my dad did. And so you're going to have to be prepared. And the way you're going to be prepared is through education. Now, on the flip side to that, you know, when we grew up, it was all about reading books, right? Even you, Patrick, you grew up reading books, you know?
I have my book club meeting at 3, so I know exactly what you
see. But now most kids learn from video and YouTube. And so we're having to adjust, and where we're encouraging them to learn. You know, so when I talk to my son about business, he doesn't watch Shark Tank on television. He watches the clips on YouTube, and he learns differently, you know. Same with my girls. So just learning in a different way. And so we as parents have to be a little bit more accommodating and adjust as well. But it's still that same underpinning that knowledge is everything, and, you know, enjoying learning is just as important, because you're going to have to figure things out for yourself. We're not going to be there for you forever.
Right. And speaking of kind of my generation again, and the next generation, you know, I have a brother who's graduating Michigan, or supposed to graduate, whatever that is, next month. And
next week.
We're supposed to, but it was really interesting because he lives with a bunch of his friends, and they all were supposed to go to their respective jobs this summer, and all of them don't have a job anymore. And
Yeah.
he was asking me what advice did I have for them. And I'm curious to hear what you would say to people that have just graduated that thought that they were entering the biggest boom market in the world. I mean, we had the biggest bull and it was great, so many jobs, and now they're entering a complete opposite. What do you recommend for them to, I know, continue to learn? Is that go and get
so first of all, you got to recognize the most important thing. The number one question you will definitely be asked in your next interview is, what did you do during the pandemic of 2020? Right.
Yeah.
What did you learn, right? What is it about you that changed? What is it about you that you think that you can contribute now that things are different? So that's first and foremost. The second thing is, you can't be picky anymore. You know, you just spent 4 years. You didn't go to the best school in the Big Ten, Indiana. But
fight on.
Oh, go blue.
You know, but all things considered, you know, where you thought you had a really good job. I always looked at, you just spent 4 years, you know, paying to learn, and now just go out and get that first job. It doesn't have to be perfect, because now you're getting paid to learn, and wherever you are, you're going to make friends. You know, that's just natural, and you're going to have the opportunity to learn more about the new business world, right? And then, you know, today, unlike when I graduated, people look for a career. You know, you wanted a career with one company. Now you're going to be a free agent. You get that first job, you learn from it. And you know what? If you look for your second job a year and a half later, when things hopefully are better and different, that's cool too. So moral of the story is, don't look for the perfect job. Just look for a job that's going to pay you, allow you to cover your bills, learn as much as you can, and then go from there, because hopefully in 2-3 years, we're back up where we were. And then, you know, you're at the top of your game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. How do you really utilize right now and look at the opportunity and find ways to continue to grow and not just sit back and kind of wait for this market to open back? I have one more question. Sorry.
Okay, go. And I have one more, and then we'll let him go.
I just am curious, because you said that so many people are turning to kind of the internet to learn, YouTube to learn, different online links. How about the people that are thinking they're about to go to college and they're now rethinking this? Should I really go for 4 years and kind of create that debt in my pocket versus just going online, Patrick, and learning what I can? You are so
right on. I've been saying it forever. If you have to take on debt, that's going to screw up your life more than anything. You know, so go to college you can afford. And what I've been trying to tell kids too is, you know, go to Coursera, take some of these online classes during this downtime. So maybe you can test out of some classes, and there's some schools that'll give you credit for those classes. Right. So you can save even more money, you know? And so the difference, like, look, I love Indiana University. It was the best thing ever for me. But if you're an out-of-state student and you don't have the money to cover it, and you're not getting scholarship, that's not the place to go. Yeah. You know, you got to go someplace where you're not going to have debt, because we don't know exactly how the economy is going to recover. We don't know what the right jobs are going to be on the other side. We don't know how much those jobs are going to pay. And so there's a lot more risk that's associated with that debt than there was before. And plus, you got to worry about schools going out of business too, because all of a sudden, all their sources of income are you know, starting to dry up. You know, there'll probably be fewer donations. You know, they make most of their money from foreign students that come in and pay full tuition. Those days are gone, you know, for at least a foreseeable future. And so the scholarship money is not going to be as good. So it's just going to be, there are going to be colleges that go out of business. And so you have to be careful there as well.
You started by talking about leadership. You've toyed with politics, or you've toyed with reporters asking you about politics.
Yeah, there's a big difference, right?
I'm not sure which one. I haven't my thoughts, but does this make you wish you were in politics? Does this make politics more attractive to you? Do you see an opening? Do you see a chance for leadership that you didn't see before?
I mean, in terms of answering last, in terms of leadership, yes. I don't think we're seeing leadership from either party. It's a difficult situation, so I'm not trying to throw them under the bus, but there's no vision. Okay, here's where we're going. There's no transparency. There's no communication. There's no honesty, so you don't know who to believe or what's going to come next. So that's a big problem. Part two, and you know why I still leave the door open and talk about it as much, you know, more than go for it. Part two is all the candidates that we have that we're going to be voting on come November. We didn't pick them in the primaries because they were skilled in dealing with these corona issues. So we have a complete disconnect between the candidates that we're voting for potentially and what we really need. You know, it may be completely different type of politicians, and it probably is. And there's nobody among the ones that I would be eligible to vote for that are really standing up and giving me confidence. And so that creates a problem as well. So there's still so much that can change between now and when the deadlines for filing are. And actually, I support an organization called competitivedemocracy.org, which helps get independent candidates on the ballots. And because you can't go out and get signatures because of Corona, there are a lot of ballots, whether it's for presidential or other races, that are going to be opened up. And we're suing a lot of the states as well. We just won a case in Illinois for that very reason.
So that's competitivedemocracy.org.
Yep. And I forget, they just changed the name. So you Google it and you're going to get something. So if I didn't get it exactly right.
Finally, Mark, you said that you asked prospective kids coming out of college if they wanted to come work for you. What did you do with this time? How did it impact you? How did it change you? I throw that question at you.
You know, it's obviously changed us all a lot. And it's brought us closer together in a lot of respects as a family. It's brought me closer to my friends, even though we're not physically in proximity, because we took so many things for granted. Now I'm having Zoom parties with my high school buddies and we're yucking it up, you know. And, you know, some of my other running buddies, my college buddies, you know, it's given us a reason to come closer and really show affection, even though it's not physical, to each other. And it's really you know, and I think this started with Kobe. When Kobe died so tragically, it really made us appreciate our families and our lives. And now we see this just something we just cannot control at all. And it makes us appreciate life and our families even more. I mean, look at you guys doing something together and sending that message as well, which is great, right? And then in terms of impact on me, it made me realize, you know, I got to do what I can to try to influence wherever I can, because I want my kids to have the best world that they can possibly live in. Right. And everything is so partisan and everything is so negative that, you know, if we can just do things, if I can just contribute at all, you know, even just the discussion, you know, I tell my kids, you don't have to be the leader to be a leader. And so if I can contribute and help at all, then I'll feel good about what I've done, and hopefully positive things will come of it.
Okay, you got to ask something about Shark Tank. You just live and breathe for Shark Tank.
Shark Tank, Friday night tonight on ABC. So
there's a
8 p.m.
plug right there. No, I mean, I said I had so many questions about his businesses and the small businesses and what he was telling these entrepreneurs to shift. So I feel like he went over that.
Should
but of course,
pop-up Shark Tank?
That was one of our suggestions. We thought you should do a pop-up Shark Tank right now for a bunch of small struggling businesses to go on and kind of, I've been doing these things on Wednesdays where I kind of let companies come on just to give them some airtime. I mean, I don't have
awesome.
the money to financially,
you know, back in 2009 and 2010, when we went through the great recession, I did this thing called the Mark Cuban stimulus program. And this is pre-Shark Tank, where on my blog, maverick.com, I let people post things, and I invested in like 10 companies. None of them really turned out to be something, but we helped some, right? And so I'm thinking about doing it again. But if you want to, you know, if you get any good ones, Patrick, let me know, and I'll connect them to Shark Tank. And so hopefully we'll be back. We still have original episodes on right now, Friday night tonight on ABC.
We'll tune in. We're tuning in.
But yeah, if you get any good ones, just DM me and I'll connect them to the producers. And so now you can tell people, if I really like it, I'm going to connect you to Mark Cuban, who's going to connect you to the Shark Tank producers, and we'll see if we can get any on air.
Okay, I'm gonna be throwing that term out a bunch.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Or communicate it through DM. It goes down in the DM.
Wow. DM. Patrick's coming out of here DMing Mark Cuban. Well, thank you, Mark Cuban. I like that line. You don't have to be the leader. You can be a leader. Absolutely. And I think that that's such a great thing to leave with, that everybody now, we're seeing so many people step up and be leaders in so many different ways. And as somebody who spent 15 years working in the Alzheimer's space, I was really glad to hear you talk about long-term care. And we need so many people in the care business. So there are places, it might not be the job you wanted, as you said, but there are so many opportunities to be of service, to lead. I love that idea. You don't have to be the leader.
No, it's so true. And I think that's what we said when we started this is, you know, we only have so much of a platform, but we got to utilize what we have and find the people that are doing that.
And this is great. I mean, no, because it's encouraging, it's inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, seeing a family, you know, mom and son working together, that alone is unusual, right? Now, if you could teach me how to get my 16-year-old daughter and my 13-year-old daughter to spend time with me like that, I'm in, right? I'm an investor no matter what.
You're a girl dad. Don't ever forget it.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And all the research shows that dads who invest in young women, right, that they are actually more successful in businesses. They have a better kind of self-image.
Yep.
They have more confidence, which is interesting. And so never doubt the power of a father's impact on a daughter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, trust me. It's, you know, and they see it like if my company's probably 51%, I think 52% was the last total, because we sold some, were run or started by women. And because I want to see, I wanted my daughters to see that. And see the examples that they set, and because that's important.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. We
Thank
really
you, Mark.
appreciate you coming on.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.
About the economy, business, mindset, family, the whole shebang. You got it all.
We covered everything, man. Have me on again, and congratulations. You guys are doing a great job.
Great. We'll watch you tonight, and he'll DM you.
Please do. Yeah, I want to see some good deals, Patrick. So I'm counting on you.
Yeah. Okay. I'll bring them to you.
Thank you so much.
And you know what? No, wait. Before you go look up Eddie Munster.
Okay, I will.
All right, guys.
Go
Take
Lakers.
care.
See you later.
Go blue. Go Lakers. Go blue. Go.
Oh.
Oh no!
Yes,
as he was saying, he was probably going to say "Go Mavericks." So
no,
good thing I
yes.
exited out.
Yeah, that's good. Well, he was terrific.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
He was really great. I mean, he gave advice, I feel like, for all different age range, different expertise range. People that were going to school, that were just about to graduate from school, that had businesses for 20, 30 years, small business, medium business, big business. So I felt like that was, I mean, it was really inspiring, optimistic, and at the same time, you know, brought together the reality and didn't sugarcoat it and said it was going to be a tough time and it was hard. And
but I also liked, you know, because in reading about him, this is somebody who's you know, parents didn't go to school, but who stressed hard work, stressed work ethic to him and his siblings, and how he has worked his way up. He talked about his first job. He wanted some sneakers, and his parents said, go out and make your own money at 12.
Yeah, I saw that. He started selling trash bags to his neighbors to afford the basketball sneakers.
Exactly. So I think, you know, passing that on, you know, your dad and I have talked to you kids a lot about work ethic and, you know, making your way, and that no job is beneath you. And I think kind of talking to young people coming out of school, going to school, there are jobs out there, and they may not be the job that you envisioned 2 months ago, but there's a job, and we can all do all kinds of jobs, and we can all lead in whatever way.
Yeah, that was a great line. You don't have to be the leader, but you can still lead. And I think that's,
you can still be a leader.
Still be a leader. And I think that's true, that everybody right now, whether that's staying at home, whether you're staying at home, you are being a leader, whether you're financially donating, whether you're sharing on social media what other people can do, whatever that is, you're finding a way to lead and to help other people, to impact people. So that's what we're trying to do with this Instagram Live, continue to talk with people that are doing that, try to do it ourselves in our own way, and hopefully continue to bring optimism, tips, and tools from some of the world's best leaders. So thank you guys for...
We call them the helpers, the healers, and the cultivators of hope. And
there you go.
We're all one of those things.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Patrick Schwarzenegger. This is
and I'm Maria Shriver.
And thank you guys for watching. This will be saved on the story for the next 24 hours, and then it'll be up on my YouTube, so you can go and watch it.
And people should DM you their business ideas.
Yeah, if you have business ideas, I guess now I'm going to go down in the DMs with Mark Cuban. So if you got some business ideas, continue to reach out, and I'll pass them over to him, I guess. Okay. Thanks a lot, and have a God bless good weekend. Thank you, guys. See ya. Have a great weekend. Stay safe.